You're seeing it. You're seeing the socialist Chicago social engineer, the community organizer, the acorn organizer, play class warfare, ladies and gentlemen, instead of everybody of every race, color, creed, and religion coming together around private property and due process and freedom. I've got a stack of news articles here where cops choke a teen and brain damage him, and the cop gets charged. I've got a stack of news articles here where bad cops or out-of-control cops are getting in trouble. But see, those stories never get focused on because the bad cops need to get in trouble. No, they always focus on some nebulous case like the Brown case or Trayvon Martin, and then have the Justice Department caught in both cases behind the scenes stirring the pot. Stirring the pot. And when you get a black cop shooting somebody in their car because they have a gun, and the cop jumps the gun, scared, and shoots them, do you hear a bunch of race riot garbage? No. The Justice Department doesn't pick up on that to just attack police in general. They pick up on white on black to make it racial, which then can be projected onto all white people and all black people to get us in a fight with each other when the real fight is against the globalists taking over. It is so elementary. It is so simple, but you can go into the comments on Infowars.com or the comments on CNN or the comments on YouTube, and it's all the same, a bunch of people hurling racial epithets at each other. People saying, yeah, the cops deserve it, time we start killing a bunch of them. And on the other side, oh, you blacks are going to get it, fine, we're going to start killing you. See how they've now set it up to be racially based? Manipulating us like a bunch of idiots, and the Wu-Tang Clan rapper comes out and says, you know, you reap what you sow. Really? So by that thought, if a black man shoots a police officer, no matter what color they are, then another random black person, because I guess they're wearing a skin color uniform, deserves to be shot. Because if you go and shoot a random cop, then do the cops get to come randomly shoot someone of the race that shot them, or vice versa? Because a bad cop might do something wrong, then you're randomly going to go to some other jurisdiction 7 states away and shoot some cop sitting in a squad car filling out paperwork. I mean, that is the most ridiculous garbage, but that's collectivism, and that's the so-called multiculturalism, ultimate racism. See the mind game? They claim it's about equality, but it's not about judging people individually on what they've done. It's about saying whole groups are guilty. This is mindless tribalism. And while all of this is going on, U.S. military concerned ISIS fighters returning to Caribbean could reach border. The Times of Israel has the headline, is Netanyahu about to lose the election? Its campaign has grown frantic. Its activists are morbid. And though it would be wrong to bury the ruling Likud party, its supporters are right to be worried. Well, Likud will just grease whoever gets elected, like happened before with Rabin. But it is true that a lot of Israelis are sick of the Likudniks. So we're going to be breaking that down and following that here today. We do have the net neutrality regulations, and I know Paul Watson's listening. I know that Don Salazar, Kit Daniels, Mikhail Thalen, Kurt Nimmo, and our other writers are all listening. I've just barely had time this morning because I just learned an hour or two ago that these came out to go over the 400-plus pages. It's not 300, but we've already found the key areas, and I'm going to cover that at the bottom of the hour. So for all the writers listening, I'm going to give you the subsection and where to go with this, because this is really bad. This is really bad. There's a reason they waited 2 weeks to release this, or 2 weeks and a day. It was 2 weeks and a day ago that they made the announcement. It's exactly what we thought it was. It is the FCC's power grab model they've had with the radio and broadcast TV, VHF, UHF. It's bad. Real bad. Because no one's reading the enforcement section. They're just reading what they claim they're going to do in these declaratory statements. But then if you read deeper, there are unlimited power grab statements So Katie, bar the door and get ready, because the FCC is trying to eat the internet. It's bad. No wonder they tried to hide this and then leak this out on a Friday. We'll be back. Stay with us. We've got 5 different people reading the document and highlighting it. I just ran back from the back office during the break, so I just caught my breath. This is unbelievable. And we just search engined some of these terms in the news. No one that we know of yet is reporting what's really in this. Oh, my gosh. So I've got Kit Daniels and everybody else working on this right now. This is really, really bad. I don't even have words to describe how bad this is. When they say that I'm reeling or my head is spinning, when you hear that term, like, I'm not going to talk about it right now. I've got to compose myself. This just symbolizes everything we're dealing with. The wanton, out-of-control power grab as the enemy moves on every front. They've got a Rural Affairs Commission under the Pentagon to federalize the states and all rural areas. They're setting up a national stabilization police force. They're federalizing the police. The borders have been completely lowered without even an executive order. They're giving the illegals free everything just to bankrupt the country. They're still moving forward with the ammo ban, ladies and gentlemen. They're just shelving it for a week or two till opposition dies down. They are rampaging forward on every front. And there is opposition to the gun grab, so they're going to play possum, which is an example of if we took action, we could actually rout these people. If folks understood just how much evil we're dealing with. And then we've got video of wellness checks, code for gun confiscation with actual video of the military training to confiscate our guns. I mean, my God. And then so many people are conditioned. They go, wait, I support our military, Alex. Yeah, if you support our military, make Washington stop giving them unconstitutional criminal missions that if they ever try it is going to start a civil war. The federal government's been seized. It doesn't have a blank check for foreign governments and corporations to line up and gang rape this country and our children's future. They are raping us with a baseball bat covered in nails and glass, man. I mean, and I hate to use horrible analogies like that, but that isn't strong enough of an analogy. We are in deep trouble. For 5 years, Pepsi uses baby parts in their flavor development. For 20 years plus, they've been growing humanoids in cows. It's Facebook. In fact, I didn't see this in my stacks. I saw it last night. I went and read their terms and conditions, and it was sure enough in a press release that Facebook's going to activate your microphone and your camera. But it said, don't worry, we have computers that aggregate the info and protect your identity, and then it's just put into an aggregation what you're talking about and saying in your house. And they just say it like it's pop and fun, like, oh, hi, I'm going to drop by and slit your throat tonight. I mean, I want to go to people's doors, knock and say, hi, I'm here to plant microphones in your house. It's no big deal. It's fun. I'm wearing a pink shirt with polka dots. It's like if you had Jerry Lewis show up and say, hi, I'm going to, beat your wife's brains out and be like, oh, sure, come on in. You're not wearing a black uniform. See, the Nazis wore black uniforms to scare people, made by Hugo Boss. Sharp uniforms. But they wanted to project power openly. Now it's all, hi, we're trendy. We're watching you and listening when you go to log into Facebook. I mean, it's worse than I thought. Twilight Zone. I mean, the fact that George Soros would spend almost $35 million, that's mainstream news. In fact, just pull up the article for him. To fund the hardcore Democrat groups. We saw the signs. I said it was Soros before it was in the news because I went and looked at who was funding it. They said the name of groups he funds on there to have people walk around and chant, deck the halls with dead cops, and to promote violence, basically. How does he get away with that? Because he's got a green light, people. George Soros funds Ferguson protest, hopes spurs civil action, $33 million. But then they dug deeper about a week later, turned out it was like $35 million. And that's out of the Washington Times. I mean, you're like, well, I am sick of the cops. They're where the rubber meets the road. So the globalists on top want to get us all fighting with each other. The policy's made above them. and you're not going to reform the police, shooting them in the head. That is meant to prime the police state takeover. And with it, all our rights. We are sitting on top a warehouse of TNT right now. And George Soros and Obama are running around with flamethrowers, shooting them in the air. Any minute, it's going to set off, folks. And all hell